Welcome everyone to our Pilates MS Views and News chair class. You will need a chair to sit down in, and for today's prop in our class, a belt or a band or something that is long enough for you to reach out wider than shoulder distance apart. We'll start first by just letting that band or belt kind of rest onto your lap. You could put it behind you if you wanted to. But I want you to sit kind of closer towards the edge of your chair. Okay, and I'm just going to put this out of the way because that is a little annoying. Towards the edge of your chair, so it almost feels as if like if you were to scooch any more forward, you might fall off, okay? So don't fall off, please don't do that. But your goal is to make sure that like where you are positioned on your chair is within like strong core strength, but also good spine alignment. With your heels together and your toes slightly apart, it looks like a letter V with your feet. So in that Pilates V position, your hands are going to press down either onto the sides of your chair, or if your chair is wide enough, onto the front of your chair. Mine's not that wide, so I'm going to go to the sides there. And so lifting your head up, looking straight out in front of you. So put your gaze right out in front of you, whatever that might be, and start to lift and lower the heels up and down. And as you're doing this, we keep the same spine length the entire time. So sometimes when I ask my clients to do this, they kind of like start to collapse through their spine and they start to arch through their spine. We're keeping that same position the entire time, pressing heavy into the hands, trying to feel and connect to the back body as you lift and lower your heels, keeping them connected. Okay. It might feel very like easy, and I say that with big air quotes, but the goal is to help us be aware of where our body is. Okay. So now when you lower your heels down, separate so that they look like the number 11, or they're in the parallel foot position, and start to lift one heel and then switch. Lift the other heel, lower that first heel down, lower and lift. Keep pressing into the sides of your chair, lifting taller through your spine. And the more you lift, maybe notice how much more core activation you're able to tap into. We're kind of opening up through the ankles, the foot space. We've got like 26 bones in each foot. So total, that's 52 bones in the entire body. Your body has about 200 bones. So that's a quarter of the bones just in your feet alone. We need to make sure we got some space there. Okay. So now reach your right leg out long. Well, first scoot your butt back just a little bit and then reach your right leg out long. Arms reach out in front of you and then nod your chin towards your chest and roll down first before you even reach forward. I want you to feel more of a spine stretch first before you feel the hamstring stretch. And then once you're like, okay, that feels like a really good spine stretch, then you reach forward. Stack the spine back up. Tall, bend your right knee, lengthen your left leg, arms forward. So make sure that you're not going here and then rolling down. Think of like a candy cane. You candy cane your spine, chin to chest, rolling down first to feel all of that stretch down the spine. And then we're like, oh, okay, that's good. Now lean forward. And then you lean it back, stack the spine up nice and tall. Bend both knees back in, plant both feet back down. Your band or strap, whatever it is that you have, comes into your hands. This is where I'm going to turn myself face back towards you. And we warm up through our arms here. So about hip distance apart, your feet are, hip distance apart, your hands are much wider than shoulder distance apart. Really pull taut onto that band so you can feel the back of your body starting to pull on that band. Lift up to a point where nothing else changes in position of your spine or your pelvis. And what I mean by that is if any of this is happening, you're going too far. Okay, so we want to keep the lift through the head, down through the tail, nice and heavy as you're lifting and lowering. So think when your arms go up, your shoulders go down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Try that 2 more times. Keep pulling apart onto the band. Exhale, lower. Here we go. Last time. And we'll do 3 more of those, but this time take an inhale and hold. Exhale, lift the band. Inhale, lower the band. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. One more time, pull that band apart, keep reaching, 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 and then lower all the way down now onto your thighs. Keep holding it nice and taut and then nodding your chin towards your chest. Push your band down towards the ground like you're going to like cheese slice through your thighs. Okay, so like those little cheese wires that just thinly slices through cheese. That's the same thing you're trying to do to your thighs. Lift back up, stack the spine, and reach the arms out up in front of chest height, heart height. Rotate to the right or left, whichever side you choose. And then inhale back center, rotate left or right, the opposite side. Inhale to exhale and switch. Now, as you're doing this though, pay attention to what might be happening below the hips. If you see any of your legs kind of going with you here, side to side, then you probably won't feel as much actual rotation happening. So we want to keep our legs still, our hips still, and the rotation coming from our spine and our waist. One more time to your first side, whatever that was, right or left. One more time to your second side. Whew. Then place that band down, cheese slice through the thighs like a wire. You press into that band and you're going to keep it there now onto the legs. Roll yourself up, let go of the band with your hands and stack the spine up tall. Give yourself a couple of shoulder shrugs and rolls up, down, and back. And forward, back, and down. I guess forward, back, then up. Alrighty, nice. So now from here, take an underhand grip into or onto your band and keep your hands about shoulder width apart. So we don't want to go too wide here and your elbows stay narrow. Stay elbow and shoulder width apart. So as you pull your right arm to the right side, your left arm will come across the body. Keep your elbows in taut as you continue moving from side to side. Yeah. So it's sort of just like warming up those rotator cuff muscles. But one thing to be aware of is that we are still maintaining that spine position. So like perch up off of the seat instead of like rounding through the shoulders and trying to get yourself to just move the body. So even if you can lift yourself higher and higher, you're creating more space into the shoulders. All right. Then you bring everything back center. This time, open the arms out wide, reach long through the arms. There we go. And then work through that rotation again. Try to open wide through the collarbones. So when the palms are turned up and the thumbs are turned out, this is called external rotation. The goal is to keep the chest open and pulling from the back body. We go 4 each side, 3 more. Notice if this twist feels a little different. Okay, rather than having the palms down, we have the palms up and we're opening the chest a little bit more. Last one to the right and final one to the left. Lower your strap back down, but grab closer again towards the back into your shoulder width apart. You're going to reach those arms out like you're serving up a platter. Keep the tension into your band and pull the elbows back in again. Reach out and pull in. Sit tall and stay strong. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, reach forward. You guys are doing great. Maybe about 4 more here. Each time you reach those arms out, can you lift the spine taller? 3 more. Drop the shoulders down the back. 2. Getting ready to hold the arms long. Last one. And now lower the arms down till your strap touches the legs and lift back up. Lift and lower. Making sure that, again, nothing changes through the actual spine itself, okay? But you might be able to lift a little higher, just making sure that, of course, those ribs in the front don't start to pop forward and nothing starts to pinch into the back. And so if you're active enough, if you're aware of what's happening, you might notice maybe a stretch coming down the back side of your body. One more time up, and then you lower back down. Now you're going to take an overhand grip, so palms down, and open them pretty wide, maybe not all the way wide where your arms are long, but just a soft bend into your elbows. Maybe like a jump rope, your strap will go down underneath of your right leg so you can reach it out away from you. Okay. And just hold that stretch first. If it feels like that's too high or too far away, slide your hands down and your leg will come closer towards the ground. But I want you to try to keep it hovering. And if maybe your grip strength is kind of suffering here or you're like too challenged, you can always wrap your hands around and hold on to the band like that. Okay. All right. So from here, thumbs are in towards each other, palms are down. Your right knee will be bending as you come into a high row. And then reach and press back out. Okay, so from the side, bending that knee in toward your chest and reaching back out. But this is still a core movement because you're trying to stay lifted rather than just collapsing your spine down and then reaching back up. We stay lifted the entire time, resisting the urge to collapse away from that leg for 3. Think of your head pulling towards the ceiling, 2. And then final 1, your leg goes down. Take that forward fold stretch again. You can let the band just kind of hang out away from that leg. You can take the band completely off away from the leg. Right foot comes underneath of you. Left foot comes on top of that band. We do it again from the other side. I'm just turning to the side so you guys can see like what we're starting with and what we will maintain with the spine. So as you pull into that high row with your arms, your knee comes to your chest, but that doesn't mean that your body starts to rock back and forth just to get it there. You stay nice and tall. 5 more, 8 total. Think of pulling from the back body like a rower. You're in a little canoe or a kayak or the erg, and you're pulling back for 3 more. 2. And last 1. Lower the leg all the way down. Round the spine into that stretch through the spine and your leg at the same time. You can take your band off from the legs and you lift back up. Right. Okay. Now from here, let's give your arms a little bit of a break and move our attention. So you can just put that band off to the side, but move your attention as well as your body off to the left side. If you want to start on the right side, just know that when I say left side, you might be on your right. So when you move your body off to the left side of your chair, you want to have basically your left cheek hanging off of the chair. Your right cheek is supported. Okay. If your chair does have handles, if you can turn yourself to one side to where your left glute is not supported by the chair, that's great. Okay. Excuse me. That's kind of what we're working towards. Right hand hooks under your chair, and you want to maintain that nice even keel of your hips. Okay. So instead of just dropping your hip down and like sinking your body to the side, I want you to lift it back up, find your alignment, head, heart, hips, all in line. Okay. But now, after I just said, don't do this, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to lower, don't drop, but lower with control your left hip towards the earth and then pull it back up again. Lower and lift. Okay. So as you're practicing this, like, why are we doing this? This feels weird. What are we doing? What is this for? Think of when you're walking. Anytime you're walking, there is a slight subtle shift of your hips. And we're just emphasizing that. What we're doing is we're opening up that space. Does anyone feel a stretch happening on that left side when you drop the hip? And then a strength happening when you lift the hip. Okay. Lower to lift. And when we bring movement, just do about 3 more. But when we bring movement to the lower back and to the pelvis and around the pelvis, we help bring more blood flow to the area, to the space. You're going to bring yourself over to the right side or the other side and repeat it on the other side. Make sure both feet are planted. Left hand is hooked under. And your right hand, you can like rest it onto your leg or onto your hip so that you can actually feel, oh, it feels so good, that hip lowering down to pull back up. Okay, go for about 8 to 10 of these. As your hip is lowering down, feel the stretch. And if you're like, I don't feel a stretch, what's happening? Like, what am I doing wrong? It might be that you need to like maybe reach your arm up overhead. We'll get there towards the end of class. So if you would like to feel that additional stretch, you can totally do it. But the goal on this one is to help to warm up the tissue, to lift it, to lower it back and down. Let's go for about 2 more here. Last one. All right, then we'll scooch ourselves back towards center. All right, scoot yourself also towards the front edge of your chair. with your feet planted right under your knees. Your knees are hip distance apart. Your arms are going to reach forward. So we don't have the band on this one. So that means like, I want you to imagine you have the band. Okay. We're going to hinge our body back. Maybe you touch the edge of your chair with the back body, and then you pull yourself back up using your core. Think if you have like suspenders right between your hips and your ribs, and you shorten the suspenders as you pull yourself back, and then you lengthen the suspenders as you move yourself away. Like a zombie coming, or maybe Dracula or a vampire coming back awake when the sun sets. Okay. Now we're going to add a rotation here. So that means when you come up, reach your left arm forward, your right arm back behind you, rotate forward. Then you come to look forward, you bring your body back. Lift up, left arm back, right arm forward, reach and look at where that hand goes. And you repeat 3 more times each direction. So this is where I know we had some questions at the beginning of the class of like, could we do this in a wheelchair, like in an actual, like a computer chair? Like, so if your chair, if you do have a wheeled chair, is it rolling away from you? Try to keep it still. And that will help you engage more through your legs, your core, all of the above. All right. One more time, to the right as you come up, lean it back. One more time to the left, twist. And then we finish going back one last time. Hands down onto your knees, nod the chin towards your chest. Round the spine next, and let your arms drag down, sort of pressing into your shins, into that forward fold stretch. Nice. Okay. And lift back up, stack the spine tall. If those stretches feel good to you and you would like a little bit more, we're going to do 2 more. I'm going to show you an additional sort of stretch there. Okay, so as you're going down, your hands are going to come behind your calves. You round the spine and you're pressing forward into the calves to round the spine backwards in the opposite direction. Inhale, lift back up. And then repeat, nodding chin to chest. Rounding the spine, hands come behind the calves, the back of your lower leg. And finding that stretch in the mid or lower back part of your spine. Feels nice and good. All right, lift back up. All righty. Let's bring that band or towel or belt back into play here. Okay. So classically, also a little bit of contemporary Pilates. This is called tree. So with our tree, you're going to hook your band on the end of your tree, which is your foot. Okay. Just like we had when we were working through those high rows. Okay. So you're going to straighten out that leg. Arms are straight as well. And your left foot is going to remain onto the ground. But now what we do is you keep your tree off out in front of you and round your spine down, pulling your arms out to the side. So it's very similar to what we did before without bending your knee this time. So you bring your body towards the leg and you lift your spine back up tall. We're facilitating a spine stretch as you do this. So reach the nose towards the knee, maybe even the top of your head towards the knee, and then lift your spine back up. Inhale. 2 to 3 more, 4 or 5 total. Reach through the right heel or the leg that's in the strap. Push that leg away from you. And this is also allowing a little bit of like nerve flossing to happen. One more time. Okay. And so from where you're at, hopefully you're still facing forward, unlike me, where you're at, facing forward, you have that chair back behind you. So now you're going to round your spine backwards, touch the back of your chair, lift your leg a little higher. And can you do this without bending your elbows? Okay. So we round the spine, you lift your leg, and then you lift back up nice and tall. Round it back. And you're like, but I'm not going very far. Okay, so if you would like a little bit more challenge, I'll give you an option after this last one. You come back up, okay? So you can keep the foot into the strap. If you don't have handles onto your chair, turn to your right side. So the back of your chair is to your right, okay? We set ourselves back up. So if you're like, nope, that was good. That was a good challenge for me. We've got just 3 more here. So you start with the spine tall. We round the spine back. And as you roll back, you're trying to keep your left foot onto the ground, lifting that right leg up and rolling yourself back up to your start position. Okay. Grow your tree. Tall, 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 tall. Keep your arms long. Use your core to pull yourself into that deep C curve of a spine. And then when you lift back up, you'll bend the knee, place it back down, and take that strap off. Nice job, you guys. Okay. All right. So giving those arms a little bit of a break. I know sometimes if you like wrap the hand into the band, it can like also constrict a little bit. So let's put that band off to the side before we even work through that second side. Instead, you're going to grab underneath of that leg we were just working for, interlace your fingers under the thigh and pull that leg up with you. So your arms are long, your left foot is still planted, and now stretch that leg out and in. Reach it away from you and pull it back in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try to keep the leg long. Can you undo your fingers behind the leg and then slowly lower your leg back down? Okay. Now we're going to add on to that. You pick up your leg again, interlace your fingers, bending the knee, straightening your leg out, unlace your fingers from underneath, and then slowly lower your leg back down. 4 more of those. Pick up the leg, bend it in, straighten the leg, keep it there. So now you're working all of that leg strength to then lower down. Core strength pulls you forward. All right, from there, lift, reach, lower, let go. Let the leg lower on its own with your control. Last 2. Yeah, think of like your foot as like a paintbrush. Point the toes, you paint the wall in front of you. You got to paint back down the wall, make sure you didn't miss any spots. And now with that leg long out in front of you, reach forward, reach for your toes. Take that stretch into the leg. All right, and lift back up. Take a hold of your band or your belt, whatever it is that you have. Now I've been like wrapping my hands in it so it doesn't really slide down. My belt is made of fabric, so it is kind of slippery for me. So we work through that tree. Your left leg reaches out away from you. We're facing forward first. So the first 5 are just trying to find like, okay, core is engaging to lift my leg up, to round the spine back to where you can touch at the back of your chair. Then you lift yourself back up into that position. As your left leg is trying to reach away from you, I want you to think of just the leg. Think of even the hip is trying to reach away from you. And what you might start to feel is that there's a nice, soft and subtle stretch happening down maybe the outside or the backside of your left leg. 2 more here. Rounding the spine, curling the shoulders forward, chin to chest. Last and final one. Reach that left hip away from you. All right. So now if you would like that extra little challenge, you can turn to the left or to the right, whichever side you want. Keep your right foot planted. That is the most important part. The further back you go, the lighter that right foot will feel. And if it does start to lift, it starts to feel a little intimidating. So from here, start tall. You have 3 more. Push that left heel and hip away from you. Round the spine back. Now this is all you, if you've taken this option, to then roll back up. Okay. Yeah. It's like a trust fall, but without the falling part. You trust that you have the strength to roll back with control and to roll back up with that control. Nice job, you guys. Okay. Undo your band. Go ahead and take it off and over to the other side, or not other side, but just back behind you. But then we work through that same left side. So you'll interlace or cup the hands behind your leg, whichever feels comfortable for you, to lift that leg up, pull it towards you, keep your legs long, and start first with the stretch and bend of your left leg. Reach it and pull it back in. Okay. Stretch it. Let's do like 2 more. Okay. Then when that leg goes long, keep it long, let go of your hands. So you're saying, look, mono hands, lower that leg down, reach your body forward, pick up your leg. 5 of those. Pull it up with you. Hold your spine and core strong, lift up, let go, lower down, reach forward. 3 more. Mm-hmm. Okay, now can you do this? Like this is just like things that we do in life. Can we do this without having to like lift the leg up? Instead, like pull the shoulders back, open through the chest, and then control that leg back down as you reach over, grab the leg one more time, engage through the back body. So pull your shoulders back so that when you lift that leg, everything moves as one unit. Straighten and then lower. Awesome. Okay. Very good. Now grab your, where'd it go? Grab your belt, grab your band, and put your feet out as wide as you can there. You're going to hold your band as wide as you can so that when it is up overhead, it's like just barely touching your head. So from this position, press down heavy through your feet and give yourself a nice little side bend to one side. We're going for each direction. Lift and inhale back up. Exhale, open up away from the side you're bending towards. Okay, so if we go to the right, you're opening up that left side. Lift up, open up the right side. Two more. Awesome. Last one to your first side. And final one to the last side. So that when you lift up, stay there. We work again through your rotation. So if there's any of this happening, that's a big no-no. Keep your legs where they are. Keep your feet where they are. Rotate just from the waist and higher. Inhale back through center. Exhale, rotate, rotate, rotate. Pull your hands away from each other so you know that there's activity through the upper body, through the shoulders, through the back line. Inhale through center and exhale. 3. 2 more. Can you move from the core? Last one. And 1. Woo. Bring your arms down. Bring your hands together so that they're narrower than your actual legs and thighs. And as if you're trying to, again, like cheese slice through the air in front of you, nod the chin towards the chest, knuckles towards the earth. Only go down to a point where you're like, okay, if I go any further, I'm going to fall forward. Don't fall forward, please. Push into the feet and stack the spine up. 4 of those. Are you still pulling apart on that band? Try to. Think of like when you're trying to break a twig in half, you would turn your thumbs up and your pinkies down. That's what the sort of rotation I want you to have through this entire movement here. Breaking this twig. Now it's a twig between our hands. One more time to nod the chin towards the chest. Lifting back up, pushing into your feet. Very good, you guys. Your hands will now come wide enough so that they can rest onto your knees. Take a big breath here. Lift taller through the spine. Maybe give yourself a couple of shoulder shrugs, shoulder rolls, so that as you start to lift your left arm up, okay, you can start to bring your right arm down the back of your right shin or calf. So again, a nice little side bend with a little bit of added rotation. Left arm goes down, right arm comes up, slide down the back of your left leg, and then lift back up. Place the right hand down. 3 more each side. As you're pushing into your leg, it's like you're trying to push or knock the leg towards the inside or towards the other leg. So lift that right arm, try to push your left knee in, but your left knee is actively pushing out against your hand. 2 more. Okay. Trying to feel maybe that rib cage on the right side in this case, pulling away from the hip on that right side. So almost like if you were going down into a cartwheel. It's the shape we're trying to make through that upper part of your body. Last and final one, nice, yummy stretches. All right. So then you lift back up. We're going to take the band or belt underneath of your right leg. Okay. And take both ends of the belt pretty close together next to your thigh. All right, so we work on some biceps here. The front part of your arm, there's 2 muscles that we work through. So there's going to be 2 different grips that we're going to have. Thumbs up is called a hammer curl. And with your palms in, that's your hammer curl. Thumbs out to the side is your bicep curl. Okay. So if you're choked down pretty close towards the thigh, it's almost like you're getting ready to make a little bow. Okay. We keep your leg in the same position to start. So first, just work through 6 of pulling that leg up towards you and then letting it gently go back down, pulling and lowering. Keeping your elbows next to your side for 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So now from there, stretch your right leg out. By doing that, we make the leg heavier, and you can scoot your butt forward too, but we make the leg not only heavier, but the lever longer. So this becomes a lot more strenuous. We're still in that hammer curl position, thumbs up, palms in, but this time we lift up, and notice the difference of like, ooh, that's way heavier. Maybe your hamstrings are kind of tight too. So you might be feeling a little stretch happening as well. So we're doing 6 here. Basically, we're going to be doing 18 total. Last 2 and final 1. It sounds like a big number, but when we add it all together, it's like, oh, that's it. Okay, we're done. All right. So from here, still hammer curl position, but now I want you to hinge your body back. Okay. You might be leaning against the back of your chair, but make sure you're not resting against the back of your chair. Leg is still long. Remember, you take that option to bend the knee if that feels like too much, but hold your core strong and steady as you keep pulling that leg up and down and up. 5, 4. You lift your head towards where the wall and the ceiling are meeting behind you. Last 2 and a 1. When your leg comes back down, slide it back towards you. Go ahead and take your spine stretch forward. And while you're down there, go ahead and put your strap behind. Oh no, we got to do our bicep curl. The strap is going to stay behind your first leg, your right leg. Totally forgot about our bicep curl. How could I do that? Okay. So now this time you're holding onto the strap with your thumbs out, your palms up. Elbows are tied in towards your side. Okay. Your booty is still off towards the front edge of your chair. And we stay lifted and tall as you pull up and down. And we want to have that strap like closer towards the knee than the actual like middle of the thigh. So there's actually movement that's happening. 3 more times. Okay. And so if you don't ever have like dumbbells or weights at home, like you can use your own body weight. Now straighten that leg out and repeat for 6 more. 4, 3, trying to also feel back body with the biceps 2, and 1. Now you either keep the leg long or you bend the knee as you hinge back and hold that position. So now we pull down and up with that leg, in and out with the arms. And think of keeping your chest open. So a lot of the times, 3 more, a lot of the times this will start to happen. Like you try to pull yourself closer to the leg, stay long through the spine and just pull that leg towards you. After that, we had 18 of each of those different bicep curls, which was technically 36 if you think about it. But now we have to do the other side. We're going to give those arms a little rest for a moment. Put your band, just drape it over the left leg to start. And to help stretch out the shoulders, the neck, and the fingers, start to reach your fingertips off to the side, giving them a little bit of like twinkle fingers. Okay. And then start to roll the wrists around. Okay. Like you're playing in silly putty or water, like you're just moving all of that water around, giving it a nice stir. Okay. Switch directions. And if this starts to bother the shoulders or the neck at all, holding the arms out to the side, you can lower them down by your side as well. So we'll warming it up to like get a nice stretch here. Okay. Then with your arms out to the side, turn just your right palm up, your left palm down. Look to the right side and switch. You turn your right palm down, your left palm up. So basically just like simple terms, whichever direction you are looking, you are turning that palm up. The direction that you are looking away from, you turn that palm down. This is called nerve flossing. Anytime that there is movement and rotation happening, we are always sort of like flossing the nerves. And then honestly, like any movement, there's always some subtle flossing that happens. 1 more time right, last time left. Okay, lower your hands down. And now what we're going to do is bring your hands behind you. You grab your right wrist with your left hand. Okay. From there, you'll pull it off towards the left side and bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Definitely do not strain here, okay? But instead feel the gentle stretch that might be happening through that right side. Yeah, so wherever you're pulling your hands towards, that's where your head is also leaning towards. Then you lift back up, grab your left wrist with your right hand, pull both of the hands over to the right hip. And then from there, I had to think about it. Pull your head over towards the right shoulder. That's it. Yeah, there you go. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Nice job today, everyone. Gently let go. Give your hands and wrists a little roll and your shoulders a little shrug up, down, and back. And now with that band that's on your left leg, we get ready for those hammer curls first. So thumbs up, palms in, and the strap itself or the band itself is closer towards the left knee. Take your seat closer towards the front edge of your chair and your hands pretty close towards the thighs to start. All right, so we pull up and in for 6. Lower and lift. Think of your leg as like a piston, just going up and down. 3 more. 2, 1. Then from there, straighten your leg out to lift and lower. And remember, it's okay. You can continue with this knee bent position. Just practicing. Practice makes permanence. Does not ever make perfect. So by practicing these movements, we start to create a more permanent effect through the nerve pathways. Lower that leg down, hinge the body back. Maybe you're leaning against the chair, but not resting against the chair to pull 6 more times up and down with that leg. Maybe that leg can lift a little higher, maybe not, but compare it to the other side. And this is, again, where practice makes permanence. Do you need to practice a little bit more on this side compared to the other side or vice versa? Lower that leg down. You can take your cat and cows through your spine if you need to, kind of stretch out through that upper back. All right, and then let's work through our bicep curl. So palms up, thumbs out, and your elbows will stay in tight. Keep your spine tall as you lift and lower, down and up. Elbows stay in pretty close towards the rib cage. This is where you might start to feel the back working with you, and you want that to happen, back and biceps. That was 6. Now straighten out your leg, pull up and back each time. Yeah, from what I can see, you guys are doing great, not moving that body forward or back. Now we hinge back, holding that hinge position to then pull up and lower with control back down. So if your leg is dropping down, you either need to bend your knee, okay, or come back up into your tall seated position. Last 3. With control. 2. And final 1. Ooh, getting some heat going. Roll out those shoulders again. Give yourself a little movement from side to side through the spine. Now with your band, you're going to reach down and actually make a little bunny tie. So walk your feet in as close together as you can and tie a knot, okay, over the legs. And whether it's a knot, I do bunny, little bunny ears, because that does make it easier to take it off of the legs. Okay, you just pull on one strap and let it go. But now with that tension, can you try to open your legs out against it? Now this might be a lot easier for you to open the legs if you do have a band that does have like some give in it, and that's totally fine. Walk out to a point, walk your feet out to a point where you're like, oh, that's really tight, okay? So we want to be able to hold this position, okay? Wherever you're at, hold and really press into it. Okay. Your feet are driving into the mat. Your knees are pulling out into your band. And now your arms are going to reach forward. And if your arms are like, no way, this is too much now, just leave them down by your side. But try to reach your arms forward if you're still with me here. Thumbs up, palms in, and hinge your body back. Keep pushing out into your band and pull yourself back up. Keep pushing out into your band. Do you notice how much stronger you may feel throughout the entire body just by using those hips and the legs to hinge and pull yourself back up? Let's go for 3 more. Hinge it back, pull back up. Last 2. Like whenever I do this with my clients, they're always like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize like I should be using those muscles. And I was like, yes, You should always be using your full body when you're doing Pilates. Okay, last one. Now let's add into that rotation. Remember how we did this before. You hinge back first. You come up, rotate to the right or to the left. Keep pulling out into that band. Reach forward, hinge back. For each side, look left, come forward. Look forward, hinge back. Woo. Turn to the right as you stack back tall. Now we want to make sure that wherever you're at, there's none of this happening. So you're not caving through the spine and then lifting up, twisting. We keep the entire length the entire time. One more right. And final time left. Okay, let your legs relax. After you come back after that last one, I think I forgot that one for myself. Let your legs relax so they're not like having to pull out into that band. Whew. And now scoot yourself forward, if you're not already there, towards the edge of your chair. Your hands come down behind you. Lift your heels up and try to keep them together here. So again, that Pilates V position. But now let your legs rock from side to side. This might feel like a pretty nice, maybe a subtle stretch. You may not feel it at first, but just by rocking those knees from side to side, maybe hold it to the side and feel how that opens up your hip from the side you're twisting away from. Okay, then come back through center, lift your spine tall, maybe scoot your booty back a little bit, pull back out, walk back out into the tension of your band. Okay, your hands grab back for the chair if you have a back of your chair, otherwise grab under your chair. Okay, always options for everyone. Wherever you're at, either behind you to open the chest more or underneath of you to drop the shoulders down more. Now, this is where you challenge yourself. Can you lift one leg out in front of you? Keep pulling out into that band, lower it back down. Lift the other leg out in front of you and then lower it back down. Repeat that same pattern for 3 more each side, 4 total, without collapsing through the spine. Just get that leg up. Okay. Stay tall, stay perched. 2. Last one each side. And 1. Ooh, give yourself a little break. Hands onto the knees. Inhale for your cow and exhale for your cat spine. Definitely feeling those hips now. Okay. All right. So last little bit here with the band around your thighs. Walk your feet out. Pull your knees out. Bring your hands into a genie arm position. So elbows and arms and stacked. In this position here, we round the spine backwards. So a nice C curve and lift back up. Keep pulling out into the band. Okay. Round it back and lift back up. Think of your tailbone pulling forward towards that band and then pulling back underneath the view. There you go. Now, when you hold that next C curve, hold there. Can you push your arms as hard into the opposite elbows as you can so you feel the upper body as well? And now rotate from left to right for each side. Hold your C curve, hold that round spine. Drop the shoulders down, lift the head taller. Last one. And 1. Then you come back up through center, round back one more time, holding there and starting to kick one leg out and switching one leg out. Okay, I said this was the last bit, but I didn't say like how many more sets we have of this. If this feels good and not too much of like an impossible task, when your right leg goes out, twist in that direction. When it comes down, you untwist, look center. Left leg, twist to the left. Bring it back down and come center. Right leg, just 2 more. We're just doing 3 each side. Keeping those suspenders shortened between your ribs and your hips. Last one, right. Center, last one, left. Ooh, come center. As you do come over those legs, go ahead and pull on those little bunny ears. Take off that band and round your spine forward, letting your head maybe rest onto your thighs if you have that mobility. And then push into the feet, stack the spine up nice and tall. Alrighty. band goes off to the side, and turn yourself towards the right side there so that we can bring our left leg back behind us. Now, I know that like different feet positions might be uncomfortable or maybe not so comfortable for others, but that's okay. You can either have a like flat foot where the top of your foot is onto the ground, or if that's not comfortable, tuck the toes so you have a tucked foot position onto the ground. If you do have a back of your chair, go ahead and hold onto the back of your chair or hold underneath of your chair. With that right arm, you're holding there, your left arm is lifted. Okay, remember how I promised that we're going to come into that side body stretch? Here it is. You let your left side booty and hip drop towards the ground as your left arm reaches towards the right. You stack back up tall and repeat that another 4 times 5 total. Okay, so here's what it looks like from the front. You're in this lunge supported position. You reach over to the right as your left leg and hip drop towards the earth and lift back up. 3 more. If you want to, remember you can hold underneath of your chair if you have that option, or just keep your arm on top of the back chair. Lift up to reach over. 1 more time. Great. Now from there, turn towards the back of your chair, grab onto it with your left hand and walk your right hand towards the other back side of your chair. So you're trying to get your whole chest and shoulders to look back towards the back of your chair. Okay, so now can you lift taller? Don't just look down at the back of your chair, lift and look out right at eye level. What is at eye level? Wherever your left leg is, whether the toes are tucked or not, can you reach it further back behind you? Push it back behind you, slide it back behind you. Notice how that opens up the front part of your hip and thigh. From there, walk your right hand to your left first, let go of your left hand next, turn back to face front, and then step your left leg forward. Okay, keep your left hand on the right or left leg, wherever that's comfortable. Your right hand this time will hook under the seat, and then do the same thing, letting the hip lower and lift. Okay, and now just check in. How does this feel compared to the first part of class? Like when we were practicing this, does it feel a little looser? Does it feel maybe a little stronger to lower and lift up and down? 1 more time. Okay. Good. Either turn your body, or if you moved your chair, turn your chair to the other side. Okay. I'll keep facing towards you guys. So you've moved yourself to where basically your right butt cheek or your other side is off of the chair. Left hand or the opposite arm from that is on the back side of your chair. Slide your leg behind you, right leg behind you into that lunge supported position. Toes are either tucked or your foot is flat. It's all preference from here. Right arm reaches out to the side to lift up as you inhale, to reach out and over as you exhale. Lower the right knee, the right hip down, and then lift back up. 5 of those. And it's okay if like the foot position isn't the same as it was on the first side, or maybe you want to try and experiment out like what does that feel like? Like let your intuition be your guide here. 1 more time, up and then to the side. So that when you do lift up, bring your right arm across the body for the back of the chair. Your left arm reaches for the opposite side of that back of the chair, and you're twisting your heart so your shoulders are squared up with that back corner edges of your chair. Lift the spine taller. 2 more big breaths in. Try to reach your right leg back behind you more. 1 more time in. Final exhale out. Walk your left hand to your right hand first. Undo and take your right hand off next, and your right leg comes forward, keeping your right cheek off of the seat there, and your left hand then comes under the seat. So now you lower and lift that right hip up and down. So you're basically like tilting the pelvis to the right and tilting that pelvis back up so it's centered. 3, 2, awesome, and 1. Okay. Now, from there, scoot yourself back to where you're on the middle of your chair and walk it back to where you can lean yourself all the way up against your chair. Grab back for your band. Gotta think about what we're doing next. Not think about, but what did I have planned for next? Try to, and if you are maybe more on the more fun sized, you might not be leaning all the way back, but we want to have your feet flat up against the ground. So if you need to, maybe put a pillow behind you so you have that support behind you still. Hands are wider than the shoulders, and reach up and make sure that you can still maintain that connection to the back of your chair. Lower back down and lift back up. Inhale down and exhale up. 2 more down and up. Shoulders lowering down the back. 1 more time. You hold the arms up at the top. Okay. Now your band will come in front of the face down to the top of your chest and lift back up. Keep pulling as hard as you can out onto that band. It's like your elbows are trying to like touch in towards your hips. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, just like an overhead press, but think of this as your overhead pull apart. 3, 2, arms stay long. Last one. Now from here, lower long down in front of you again and lift back up. Okay, now keep your body flush up against the back of your chair and lean over towards the left side. Lift back up and over towards the right side. Oh my goodness, feeling maybe which side is a little tighter. For me, it's my left side today. Okay, maybe it's my right side. I don't know. As we open up more of the body into each of these stretches, make sure you're not leaning away from the chair. We start to peel back layers. Our body is like an onion. So all of the layers that we get to peel back, the fascial tension there, go ahead and lower that band back down after you're even on both sides. Those fascial layers, like the more you peel them away, the more yummy the stretches will feel. Now you're going to take your right foot back into the band. If you need to kind of roll your hands into the band there, your right leg stays long, your arms start long. This is where pushing down into your left foot is going to be very helpful. Now, we don't have very much room to go here because we're already all the way back against your chair, but can you lift the leg and pull your elbows in close, lower back down. Pull your elbows in close. So think of your hammer curl, thumbs up, palms in. Now just be sure that you're not lifting your shoulders up towards your ears. Okay, keep your neck long and your elbows down the back. That's it. There you go. 2 and 1. Now you're going to take both of those straps, your little horse reins, into your right hand. So the way that I like to do this is take your right hand under the band, make a nice little bracelet, and then hold onto the band with just your right hand. I'll do that again in slow motion. Okay. So if your foot is into the band, holding onto it with your left hand, hand goes under, grab to twist, and then put the end of the rope in. Okay. So you've got that little bangle there on your wrist. Okay, so leg is still long, arms are still long. We now open that leg off to the side as you bend your right elbow in and then straighten that leg back out. So you might start to feel a nice inner thigh stretch happening through the body. If you need to, hook your left hand under the chair so your body doesn't start to like lean off to the side to compensate. So we try to hold everything else still for 3, 2, last one. Put your foot down off wide to the side. Just let your band hum down to the ground and your right arm or right elbow will come down to the knee there. Take a nice overhead stretch and lift back up. If that felt good and you would like a little bit more, your right hand goes to the inside of your leg, down the leg towards the ground to reach up and overhead. Come back up using that whole left side body. Now, the goal here is to feel the inner thigh stretch. So you are pushing hard and heavy against the inside of that right leg. As your right leg is actively pressing against the inside, I guess that's the outside of your arm. One more time. Now, while you're down there, go ahead and pick up that band, bring it back up with you, slide your right leg forward out in front of you. And we start again on the left side. Left foot under the band. You want to start with the leg long, start with the arms long. Okay. As you're setting yourself up into position, your back is still leaning against the back of your chair or your pillow, wherever you're at. From here, you pull the elbows in close, thumbs stay up. Think of your hammer curl and then lower that leg back down. If you're like, that leg is not going very far at all, you can slide your hands closer towards you, okay, to lift up a little higher. Now, when you're pulling, make sure you're pulling from the back and the biceps, not up into the neck or the shoulders. 3 more. Last 2. All right, then final one. If you need to lower the leg down, lower it down. We're going to hold on to both of the straps with the left or with the right hand as you then take your left hand under, grab around, turn your palm forward, and then hold on to that band with your thumb. Okay, I'll do that again. Holding onto it with your right hand, your left hand goes under, wrap around the wrist, and then turn your palm forward. And there it is for you to lay the end of your band right there on the rest of your palm. Okay, so you have your little bangle. All right, so then once you've got that adjustment all done and said, lift the leg up. Okay, you open the leg out to the side. You hold the elbow in close towards your side and then bring it back out in front of you. Reach off to the side, try to open it wide enough to where you feel that inner thigh stretching, and then you pull it back in to strengthen that inner thigh. So we open everything up and then pull inner thigh in. Open to inhale. Exhale to close. 3 more times. Can you keep your toes up towards the ceiling rather than trying to like turn your foot one way or another? 2. Now you open your leg as wide as you can. Last one, bend your knee, place the foot down, drop the band down, and put your left arm onto the left thigh, right arm overhead. Oh, side stretch, okay? But if you would like your inner thigh stretch, your left arm and then elbow will push to the inside of your knee. Push the knee into that arm. Lift up 3 more times. 2. By actively pushing the arm and the knee into each other, you are activating and stretching. Open those muscles. There's your last one. So when you're down there, sorry if you have to go down again. If you're down there, pick up your band, bring it back up with you and bring it into your hands. Nice job, you guys. All right. So as we start to kind of wind things up, we're going to finish with some extension. Now, if extension is contraindicated, meaning your doctor says like, don't do this, then please just try to find as straight of a spine as you can. Otherwise, if you know extension feels good for you, this is where we open the heart, but we want to make sure that we're not jamming into the back just to get there. So I want you to think of like keeping this lower part of your spine still and allowing everything else in the front and the top part of your spine to open up. Okay, so the band, you're going to reach it up. Your hands are wider than shoulder distance and reach it up to where you can start to lift your gaze towards it. And notice how maybe the collarbones start to widen, your heart starts to open. And if you start to feel a pinch at all in your back, then you've gone too far. Just come back out of it, nod the chin towards your chest, push the band down into your thighs to counteract that stretch. Push your knuckles towards the ground. Lift your spine up. First, just think about length, 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 and lift. Okay, then as your arms start to go back behind you, start to lift your gaze, your chin away from your chest, shoulders down the back, lift taller, lift higher. And then exhale, nod the chin towards the chest, your hands press the band into the thighs, just like that cheese wire from before. And we lift up one more time, lifting the arms, lifting the spine, lifting the body. And your hands start to pull back, your gaze starts to lift up, shoulders down. And then when you exhale, chin to chest, band to thighs. And roll it forward. Lift up nice and tall. Great job there, you guys, on that one. Okay. All right, so then reach back. Your band is off to the side. Reach back for the back of your chair or under the chair, whatever you have available to you. Right hand is back behind you. Thumbs are down, okay, if you have a back of your chair, or the hand is just under, okay? With your right arm, that's my left arm. Left arm is forward. Reach it across to your right side body. Now, bring that hand down the side of your leg, trying to push the knee in, but your leg is actively saying, nope, I'm not going to move for you. And just hold this rotation. Maybe you try to look back at where your hand is behind you, whether it's on the chair, on the back of your chair. Then we pull ourselves back up, inhaling, stacking tall from the top. Left hand goes back behind you. Right hand reaches across to the left side of the body. So if this knee starts to cave in, you got to use those hip muscles, just like we had the band on the outside. Left arm behind you, right arm to the outside of that left leg. Hinge and rotate into that stretch and hold. Each time you exhale, think of like wringing out a wet towel. We rotate a little bit more. One more inhale. One more exhale. And you pull and lift yourself back up. Let's take some final deep breaths here to finish. So stack your spine where you're at. So lift tall, perch up out of your seat. Like think of pulling your sits bones together and your hands rest down onto your knees. Close the eyes and take a big inhale in through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out. 2 more of those. Inhale in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. And there's no need to purse the lips here. Just kind of let the jaw hang open. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Then softly start to open the eyes to the world around you, maybe taking in some new things that you weren't aware of before. Okay, maybe the movements that you weren't aware of before, the openness that you weren't aware of before. Wherever you're at for today, please take it with you into the week, into your next day, into the rest of your night, and have an awesome rest of your night, day, wherever you're at in this phone call. Okay, so thanks again for joining me, you guys. Again, my name is Rhea, and I'll see you again in another 4 weeks. So this is an every Monday, not every Monday, one Monday every month that we do this. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.